Good morning. Welcome. So it has been raining for the last 4 days. Um, and my succulents have been covered out here for 4 days. And it wasn't a little bit of rain, it was a whole lot of rain. I mean, 4 days of on and off, just pouring down. I'm here for the first time um, in 4 days, just looking over my succulents, making sure that they're okay. Sun's finally peeking out. I haven't seen the sun in actually technically 5 days because it rained for the full 4 days. And as you can see, I do at one point, I think after the second day, I came out here when there was a brief pause um, and hung a grow light out here because I was just afraid. I wasn't sure. It's not, I mean, I feel like this is the first time that it rained 4 days in a row. And I was afraid that they would get leggy because of the lack of sun. But it doesn't look like any of them got leggy. I just did a quick scan and they all look pretty good, which I'm so relieved because, as I mentioned, this is the first time that I had them sit out here for such a long time with all this rain. Luckily, this time around, I covered the front part of my plant shelf too, so none of them really got rained on. Well, except for the ones by my potting bench because the cover blew open in the rain. Because at certain points, certain uh, days, the wind was really strong, so it blew open my cover. But look, so I'm going to show you some of my succulents. So I did water some of these, not right before the rain, maybe like 2 days before the rain. And some of these got like, well, as you can imagine, 4 days of just really high humidity. It soaks up. So apparently they say that they do soak up the humidity in the air. Look at how my moonstone, I mean, it's just, I think it definitely grew. I mean, the leaves look like it's about to pop. And I didn't even water this before the rain. So that's amazing to me right now. And I'm just going to keep looking. And it's gotten much colder as well. It's very windy today, and I'm like sort of freezing out here. I'm about to grab my down jacket. And my mystery succulent over here, it definitely grew. I did water it before, not like, not any, not like a couple of days before, no, some time ago. I can't even remember, but it definitely got like really plump um, over this sort of rainstorm, days of rainstorm. Let's see. Let's see if anything else got really, if I can tell significant difference. Oh yeah, I don't think I have a featured this. I think this is called a silver frost. I don't remember if it's a Setivaria or Graptivaria or Sedum. No idea. I have to look it up. But that one, I did water it a couple of days before. It definitely grew. It got very plump. And I'm going to show you guys some of the ones that I planted recently into this little tiny, those tiny mini pots that I did unboxing of. Um, they're doing nicely. I was a little bit worried about them too because I just potted them and they barely got a chance to even see any sun. They've just been like sitting out here under the plant shelf. So they're doing really well. I'm gonna walk over to my potting bench, which is right next to it, and I will show you my Suyun. It's gotten huge. I mean, the leaves just like the face just opened up. It is just stretching its leaves and got huge, the top down view. So this is my like propagated what I thought was a Pearl 1 Nürnberg, and I'm pretty positive it is. I actually didn't do a recording of this one, but it was sitting in a bigger pot. I actually repotted in one of my previous uh, vlogs, and it still wasn't doing well. It was really wrinkly, and it was just not responding to any of the water that I was giving. And I gave good soakings. So after having experienced what I experienced with the Mediva, I decided I'm just going to soak it. I actually potted it into a smaller pot because the other pot, it just felt too big. And I just figured I'm going to repot it into a smaller pot. And I soaked it overnight. And look, now it's finally like, it's not wrinkly. The leaves are shiny. It's firm. It's finally the way it's supposed to look, which is great. And my blue elf, that is just doing really well. I hope didn't soak up too much humidity. I did water it not too long ago. And I'm drawing a blank again. My Suyun, yes. No, not Suyun. That's the Suyun. My Suryun, yeah, Suryun. It's the tips and the pink lining is getting darker and darker each day. It's getting so cold out here. Okay, the Mendoza definitely got very plump over these 4 days of being sort of covered up under a tarp, and my sedum clavitum. But this one was actually struggling as well. I repotted into a smaller pot because it was just looking really, I don't know if I did a video on that, but I repotted into a smaller pot, and it was struggling. And I didn't touch the roots or anything. I just did a quick like transfer, and it was really struggling. So what I did was I did soak this one too. And finally, the leaves are looking really plump, nice and plump now. It's finally looking like how it should. Before, all the sort of the second and the third layer leaves were like very wrinkly, even no matter how much I like sprayed it down. But it's looking really great right now. And look at my other Suyan, my this one, it's just, I feel like over the, definitely wasn't this big 4 days ago, I'll tell you. It definitely grew, I want to say, like 2 centimeters. I know it sounds crazy, but like the leaves definitely got wider and longer, and like it opened up. Yeah, it's like the size of my, I'll show you my palm. The size of my, it's like the size of my hand. Bizarre. Okay. So these are the ones, the back row are the ones I just potted, and they've been literally after I potted. I potted right before the rainstorm, and they've just been sitting here. I was kind of really worried about them, but they're looking great. And my painted terracotta pots, which I love how it looks. I think it's so cute. And my propagation tray, or remnants of my propagation tray, it's doing okay. All right, that's the pinwheel that I pulled out of the pot. It's doing okay. I think hopefully it'll put out more roots. And as you can see, I showed in that vlog, it's the size difference between the two. But I will say this is a lot more. It has a longer stem for sure. With this, the face is definitely, I realized in that video I wasn't doing a good job of showing their like side-by-side view. So you'll probably get a better view here. Okay, so I think that's it. I've been dying to like come out here and look at my succulents, and I'm so relieved that they're doing great. So I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Bye now.